It's looking like Microsoft might actually savage and have a really good 2021, and I want to talk about it. But before we get on with the video, definitely hit that like button if you guys enjoyed the video. You can always subscribe to the channel for weekly content, and don't forget to go over there and follow me at Twitter at LordAddictILP. Without any further ado, let's talk about the year of 2021 for Xbox. What's going on, you guys? Gaming Ad here, coming at you with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the year 2021 for Xbox and what exactly does this year look like for Xbox as a brand. Now clearly we have had phenomenal Game Pass support pretty much the entire year. We had MLB, the Outriders, and for the most part I see that continuing. I see the rest of the year we might have 1 to 2 more AAA third-party games coming to Game Pass day and date. I know there's rumors going around there about Madden. There's a lot of people even talking about stuff like Battlefield 6. These are huge games that if they came into Game Pass day one, it would be a huge moment for Microsoft and the Xbox brand. Now the biggest question is, in terms of first party, what exactly is Microsoft doing that's not Game Pass related? Obviously we love the Game Pass stuff. I've been a huge supporter of Game Pass, but at the end of the day, what is better than third party stuff? First party stuff, and that's what I really want to talk about in this video. As of right now, we have one big Microsoft title coming out the end of this year, and that game is Halo Infinite. But the biggest question is, in 2021, is Microsoft going to be releasing any more big titles such as Halo Infinite? And there is a couple rumors going around out there that I actually think that is a good possibility, such as Forza Horizon 5. For many of you that know, we did not get a Forza game last year. For the most part, it is always 2 teams teaming up to make sure we get yearly Forza games. But last year, the Motorsports franchise took a break because they were trying to redevelop that game for next gen only. So people assumed, well, when Horizon comes back, they will probably take another year break too, because a lot of people assume we would just get a Motorsports this year. But it does look like that game's definitely not coming out this year, but it's rumored that we're going to get another Horizon instead of Motorsports this year. I'm 100% okay with Motorsports taking a year break. I feel like if they want to redevelop that game and put it on next gen only, there's probably a great reason for that. And I'm always about utilizing the full potential of the platform that they're making it on. So if they're only making it on the Series S and the Series X, I feel like we will get a way better product than we would if they would have made it cross-generational, where it's on the Xbox and it's on the Xbox Series systems. And I don't think that is the right call right now. I think let's go ahead and develop more games for next gen to get more people from the Xbox generation to the Xbox Series platforms. And it looks like Horizon might actually have where it's going to be taken place already leaked. Now there's nothing confirmed, obviously. For the most part, when it comes to these speculation videos, you always have to take these with a grain of salt, but it does look like a lot of popular people that I do trust putting on there that it might be in Mexico. Now, it's like I said, it's not been confirmed, but when Windows Central is writing about something and Jez is on there officially, pretty much not necessarily confirming it, but most of the time when you see something that Jez doesn't think is authentic, he'll just come out openly on Twitter and say that, yo, this isn't happening. Let's keep our expectations in check, but it doesn't look like that's happening. Jez even retweeted the article, so I pretty much feel like that's a given at this point, but like I said, it's not confirmed, so keep that in mind. Now, obviously, that is speculation, but you know what? Let's talk about something that's happening 100% for the most part, and that's Halo Infinite. I know Halo Infinite has had a very bad reception, and a lot of people, including myself, are very skeptical about 343 and what direction they're taking the Halo brand. Ever since the July event, I feel like 343 has been doing their best to make it up to the fan base in the kind of condition that they showed Halo in. Not necessarily, you know, in terms of aesthetics, but they're really going in, keeping their community up to date, showing you screenshots of what kind of aesthetics you might get in the actual game. Now keep in mind, they've only really showed us pictures, so I would say hold off on that in terms of the aesthetics and what the game's gonna look like, and wait for a validation in terms of gameplay to see if it's improved any since July. I believe it will. The year delay definitely most likely helped the game in general. I just don't know if that year was enough realistically to do anything drastically, but I'm not a game developer, so I'm gonna go ahead and let their results show me the improvement that I want. But the good thing about that is we actually don't have to wait long. I'd assume we're gonna see more on Halo Infinite in the June event they have planned during E3. One of the biggest mysteries that we don't really know a whole lot about is multiplayer. We gotta know exactly how Halo Infinite is going to hit us with the multiplayer. Since 343 took over, we've had a drastic difference in gameplay in terms of how Halo's multiplayer was under the supervision of Bungie. We've had games such as Halo 4 that kind of went a little bit more of a casual way, but then in Halo 5 they kind of backpedaled a little bit, got the game, in my opinion, the best it's ever been in terms of multiplayer, and I'm hoping that they bring that back with some fine adjustments, because in my personal opinion, Halo 5 has some of the best balance between older generation Halo fans and newer generation, and I think all you really have to do is fine tweak stuff with that formula. You don't have to change it drastically, but it does look like they might be changing it, but we haven't seen anything directly. So hopefully in June we'll get some kind of multiplayer beta, and it'll run like a month long. They'll get stuff fine-tuned, and we'll have a better idea of what this game's gonna be in terms of a multiplayer. I do have faith in the multiplayer team. They clearly have seen the positive reception that they got for Halo 5, so I'm hoping that they took the positives from that and they took away the negatives and they made a good middle ground. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the Bethesda purchase. A lot of people assume the Bethesda purchase is going to give Microsoft games later on in the generation, not necessarily this early on in the generation, especially 2021. And the biggest question on top of whether or not Bethesda is going to give us any kind of fruits in terms of games, we have obviously another big elephant in the room. We don't know if it's going to be an exclusive, if it's going to be a timed exclusive, or if it's just going to be on all platforms. And what game am I talking about? I'm talking about Starfield. Bethesda has been developing this game for many years, and the biggest question that people have right now is, when is this game dropping? Is it going to drop this year? Is it going to drop next year or the year after that? There's few people that probably know, and everyone wants to have this information to know exactly what kind of console they should buy for this holiday. And Starfield, a high caliber game like Starfield, I know we don't know a whole lot about this game, but it is coming from a very veteran studio. Regardless how you felt about Fallout 4, it was still a good game, just not, in my opinion, the best Fallout game. And that studio has always been high caliber studio. Sure, their games come out buggy, but people tend to forgive bugs when the game's good and it's fun. And for the most part, let's be honest here, their games have always been Game of the Year contenders, if not Game of the Year winners. So there's not any logic that you can make me think that the people that made Skyrim, the people that made Fallout, are just going to start making bad games, because I don't think that's a realm of possibility. Now sure, maybe there's been a lot of different speculations going on because they haven't made a new IP in a very long time, and Starfield is going to be a brand new IP, so we'll have to see a little bit on how that looks in terms of not making sequels such as Elder Scrolls and Fallout. But I have a lot of faith in them in terms of RPGs, and I think they're going to hit it out of the park. How much they're going to hit out of the park, I don't know, but I feel like that team and Todd Howard has done enough to justify giving them the benefit of the doubt, and I for one intend on giving it to them. You don't have to, but I'm going to. And the reason I think this game has a good possibility of coming out this year is back when, after Bethesda was purchased by Microsoft, well, really just the announcement, they actually had an interview with Todd Howard and Pete Hines, and they were talking about Starfield. If you've noticed, they've talked about Starfield a lot here lately, and during that interview, Todd Howard said we're going to have something to show on Starfield soon. And usually after Fallout 4, when they show something, 9 times out of 10, it's coming out that same year. They'll show it in June and it'll come out October to November. And I think for the most part, that's what their plans are for Starfield. Now, clearly, there's always a possibility that this game could get pushed back into 2022 because of the pandemic that we're currently in. But I think the odds of that happening is about 50-50 at this time, and it wouldn't surprise me if it went either way. But I am going to be on the side that thinks this game is going to come out around November. So let's do a little track up, okay? Let's do a little bit of a recap. We're probably going to have a Horizon game coming out sometime this year, probably September, October, maybe even sooner, because they do have Halo. Now, if Starfield does come out, I pretty sure that would be a November release, because Starfield does have the amount of clout that would be necessary to compete with big AAA titles, and I think they have a good chance of putting that in November. If Halo comes out, maybe October, mid-October, end of October, probably mid-October. And I think it's a good idea that maybe August, September, we see Forza. I know that's not the definition of usually when Forza's come out, but to me, if Starfield comes out, this is a perfect time for this game to come out, because Microsoft's clearly going to want their games to breathe. They're not going to put them really too close to each other. But if Starfield does get pushed back next year, then clearly it would change a little bit. And I would expect you to see Forza Horizon maybe sometime in September or early October, and you might see Halo at the end of October to sometime in November. Now, clearly, all of this is subject to change. I have no insider knowledge. It's just me paying attention to the industry and how I would assume Microsoft would be handling this holiday. I could have all this wrong. Forza could be next year, and so could Starfield, and Halo could get pushed back for all we know. But I'm confident to a point where I do think these games are coming out this year. Now, clearly, when it comes to the dates, I just give you my speculation. I'm probably wrong on that. And my question to you guys is, if these games do come out, regardless when they release this year, do you think that's a good year for Microsoft? You have Forza Horizon, you have Starfield, Halo, not to mention the third-party Game Pass day one. So I feel like all those together make Microsoft and Xbox have a phenomenal 2021, and it's able to be savage because of that Starfield if it comes out. And now let's be real, if Starfield doesn't come out this year, then they would still have Halo and Forza Horizon 5, and I still think that's a good year itself, but we really need that Starfield. I think Microsoft's going to do whatever they can to make sure Starfield comes out. It's just Microsoft, do not force this game to come out in November. If it's not ready, if it's still buggy, just delay it into 2022 so we can have a really good experience playing this game, because I myself am a huge fan of this studio. I honestly think that's a good year. That's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Put it in the comment section below if any of these games you would want to see at E3 this year to be released this year. Now keep that in mind, it's got to release this year. You can put down there what games you would like to see at E3 in general, but for the video sake, I do want to hear what you guys would like to come out this year. I know a lot of people are saying they like to have a Banjo that's been under development come out this year, and it's announced at E3. Keep in mind, we don't know what some of Bethesda studios are doing. Some of them have been making games for a couple years. We could easily see release dates this E3, so it's a fantastic time to be an Xbox fan and a gamer in general. But definitely put that in the comment section below. Until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.